and their lack of volunteer support. So, this is one of the best cemeteries there is, but you could really see how much help we need. This past Saturday, I had the pleasure of meeting a man named Guadalupe Leal, the cemetery gardener. He is the only gardener at the National Houston Cemetery, and he is in charge of 419.2 acres of land. He is at the cemetery every single day, Monday through Sunday, and he was a 4-year Marine veteran during the Vietnam War. Next slide. Some information about the National Cemetery Administration is that it is a branch of the United States Department of Veteran Affairs. The NCA manages 155 cemeteries over the entire United States, covering 42 states, including Puerto Rico. While not officially designated as NCA until 1998, its administrative birthday is 1973 when Congress passed the National Cemeteries Act. This legislation created an agency within the Veterans Administration to oversee national cemetery systems, which dates back to the Civil War. Next slide. So about the NCA, more information is that there are 155 national veteran cemeteries in the United States, 6 of which reside in Texas. Nearly 23,000 acres of land from Hawaii to Maine and Alaska to Puerto Rico have been devoted to memorializing those who serve this nation. More than 1.7 million people visited a Veterans Affairs cemetery in the year 2022. However, only 78,000 hours were spent volunteering at these cemeteries in the year 2022. While 78,000 hours sounds like a significant amount of time, the National Houston Food Bank alone had volunteer hours surpassing 93,000. So, not to discredit any work that is done at food banks or the National Houston Food Bank, but across
Bluetooth disconnected. Bluetooth pairing.
Anywho, across 150.
Bluetooth connected.
Across 155 cemeteries, there was only 78,000 hours volunteered, and that makes jobs like
Bluetooth disconnected. Bluetooth pairing.
That makes jobs like the one that Lupe holds at the National Houston Cemetery as the only gardener significantly harder. So my project was about making their jobs easier and also raising awareness to the service that they truly do. Next slide. More information about the cemetery that I chose to partner with was the National Houston Cemetery. I have been volunteering here since I was in the 7th grade. Many of the people in this room have seen me at Wreaths Across America, as I am there bright and early at 6:30 with my dad. The National Houston Cemetery was established on December 7th, 1965 as a Veterans Administration cemetery. It became the Houston National Cemetery in 1973 after the passage of the National Cemetery Act. It covers approximately 420 acres of land and houses over 100,000 graves. And the next slide. My project within the cemetery was a beautification project for the entrance of the cemetery. So as you can see in the pictures, I planted flowers at the entrance to the cemetery. This is a project that had been on Lupe's list for well over 2 years, but had just been significantly out of reach as he does not have the support that he needs. As one gardener, over 420 acres of land, it is very difficult for him to, have meet his task and his list that is ongoing throughout the years. So for my project, I designed and planted flowers at the entrance to accomplish a goal that has been out of reach. We will have a plaque that will be put by the flowers that I put to show that it was a volunteer project and to hopefully get more entertainment for volunteer projects in the future. The entirety of my Girl Scout Gold Award project is not for the flowers that I planted, but to raise support and show awareness to the cemetery's lack of support and lack of volunteer work. Next slide. Again, what my project aims to solve is that there are many aspects of the cemetery that are understaffed and need help. And through my project, I am bringing awareness and assistance as I will be speaking to over 4 volunteer associations that have the abilities to help. Next slide. On this slide, I listed only a few service projects that could be helped with at the cemetery. The pictures on the right are examples of empty flower beds where flowers could be planted just like I had done. So if any of y'all need an Eagle project, that would be a pretty good idea. Anyways, these are a few of the service projects you can do. Pulling weeds in the flower beds, as Lupe is one gardener, again, over so much land. Planting more flowers, straightening headstones, which I've heard that y'all don't very much like to do. Cleaning up the grounds, and cleaning grave markers. These are just a couple ideas of ways that we can support and volunteer at the cemetery, and there are always more to come. Next slide. Another example of a project was my brother, who did his Eagle Scout project through the National Houston Cemetery. He completed his project by building a lowering device storage unit assembly. This is another type of project that could be done, obviously requiring more labor, but it just shows the extent, the amount of projects that they need, and the amount of things that they have on their list that they could not get done. This project that my brother did was greatly helpful for them. It is used every single day and has been in use for over 2 years now. Next slide. Other ways that I have to get involved are Wreaths Across America. Obviously the Boy Scouts participate in this, but there are other groups that are unaware of this volunteer opportunity that this information could reach. Another volunteer day is the National Day of Service, which is held this year on September 7th, 2024. There will be a ceremony as well as a presentation and volunteer work related to 9/11. The next slide is if there are any questions that anybody has for my project, I can answer them now. And if not, there is a Google form that I would really appreciate if y'all would fill out honestly on the next slide that y'all can scan. Thank you so much for letting me speak with y'all for a minute.